Get down. The UFC returns back to the Apex 2 weeks in a row for UFC Vegas 109. Dolidze versus Hernandez. I'm here to give you my full picks, predictions, and breakdown for every fight, including some betting tips, best bets for every fight. I'm going to try to remember. I'll be forgetting halfway through the video, but I'm going to try to remember. You know what I'm saying? I want to know all your picks down below. I want to know what you agree and what you disagree with. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that like button. It keeps me going, keeps me motivated. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a upload, baby. Let's get into it. Opening the card, we got Gabriela Fernandes versus Julia, that girl. The girl that beat Meatball Molly. When we thought Meatball Molly was still good at MMA. We're going to go Fernandes. Fernandes has big power, so she can find a finish. We're going to go Fernandes TKO. Now, when I'm breaking down this card, I got to remember we're in the Apex. We're in Vegas where empty grappling doesn't matter. It's all about damage. It's all about, you can have 2.5 minutes of control time, but if it was empty and your opponent gets up and makes something happen, they're going to get that round. Now, Julia doesn't really have empty grappling, but it's kind of armbar or bust. She's Ronda Rousey at home, right? But she has horrible striking. She turns away from the strikes. Very, very ugly on the feet. Not a lot of offense, horrible defense. So at times she looks like she's panic wrestling. Well, she doesn't look, she's panic wrestling in there. And Gabriela Fernandes, she's a big girl. She likes to stay on her bike. She likes to move. Now, if she gets taken down, it could be interesting early. But I think Gabriela Fernandes, she's going to have to deal with some adversity in the grappling early because they're going to be fresh. It's going to be a small cage. She's going to be able to get her hands on her maybe. But I think as the fight goes on and a takedown, she might get a takedown early, but Gabriela get back up. And then I think as the fight goes on, it's going to be a lot of clinch and kind of desperate clinching while Gabriela's breaking away, landing good shots. Julia's trying to push for the clinch, and she gets finished. I think she's going to get hit with some hard shit. I think she's going to get finished. This win over Kong Wong was a TKO and a submission. Kind of what Charles did to Justin Gaethje. If you know, you know. Moving on, we got Medic versus Gilbert Urbina. And I think this plays out a lot like the Nick Klein and Andre Pulayev fight where Medic, good striker, decent power on the feet, kind of chinny, but it's not a lot of big power coming this way, as you can see. Gilbert's going to be looking to clinch. He's going to be looking to wrestle. He's going to be looking to get the fight down to the ground. And I think this fight is going to play out like Nick Klein and Medic. And like the opening fight where Euros is going to have to deal with that grappling and he might get taken down. He's going to have to work. He's going to have to get popped back up. The thing with this fight is I think Medic can be taken down, but I don't think he's going to get finished. I don't think Gilbert's going to be the guy to finish him on the ground. Via submission, I'm saying. So I think Euros is going to be able to scramble back to his feet, move around, find a shot, knock out Gilbert Urbina. Gonna go another round 2 KO. Now we got Jocelyn Edwards versus Priscilla Cachoeira. Now look, this is a very interesting one. You got a marauder, big power, killer be killed style versus Jocelyn Edwards, who's, you never know if she's going to make weight. And I'm surprised that the UFC keeps giving her chance after chance. But at the end of the day, I'm not really that surprised because she's a good fighter. Her wrestling has improved greatly. Good wrestling. She's always had good striking, good footwork with decent power, you know. Strong thunder thighs, good takedown defense as well. So I think this is going to be a standoff fight on the feet. Either Priscilla's going to impose her will and find a finish, or Jocelyn Edwards going to dance around, really show Priscilla levels and dominate her to a decision. I don't think this fight's going to be close whichever way it goes. I don't think we see a war. I think we either see Jocelyn Edwards doing her thing and schooling Priscilla, or I think we see Priscilla biting down on the mouthpiece, ready for the grid down, getting in Jocelyn Edwards' face and melting her. I think Priscilla is a very similar opponent to, Tamir's Vidal. She's better. She's a better striker. That's about it. You know, they're both two powerful strikers who want to come forward, try to impose their will. Jocelyn Edwards dealt with this very, very nice. I think Jocelyn Edwards is going to look to use her wrestling as well in this fight. I like Jocelyn Edwards to get a decision here. I wouldn't be surprised by a finish, but I like Jocelyn Edwards to get a decision here. Moving on, we got Elijah Smith versus Toshiomi Kazama. This was easy. We're going to go Elijah Smith by KO. Look, round 1, because Kazama comes out very fast, very aggressive, kind of killed to be killed style, and he's not durable enough for that or defensively sound enough for that, like a lot of those fighters are. Elijah Smith is very, very well-rounded. He's good everywhere. Good wrestling, good striking, good jiu-jitsu, good boxing, really fast in the hands with power, works the body very, very well in the boxing. I'm very impressed with his boxing. You know, his background is in wrestling, I do believe, but his boxing is really, really good. His boxing might be better than his wrestling. I think he can take this fight down, and if Kazama does show some adversity on the feet and is a little fast and is a little unorthodox and he's starting to hit Elijah Smith will change levels. Elijah Smith, very, very smart fighter in there, does what he has to do. The only thing is, defensively, I would like him to move his head a bit more. But other than that, good offense, can be stationary against the fence, but I think that was just Vince Morales being a good vet, trying to put the pressure on him late. While Elijah Smith did slow down a bit in that fight, but I think Elijah Smith should smoke Kazama and continue his UFC run. Julius Worker versus Rafael. Listen, I haven't picked this dude yet, and I'm not gonna pick this dude, but this is a closer fight than these two. I mean, we knew he was gonna get smoked by Ibo Aslan. He's fighting guys at the Kentucky State Fair. I've been saying this for the long. Kentucky State Fair fighting, finishing bums, guys who don't even look like they belong in the weight class. We're talking about flyweights, not flyweight. We're talking about lightweights and welterweights who are just fat as hell, don't want to cut weight, or just fighting for fun. Those are the kind of guys he was finishing. And the UFC is just a completely different level. Julius Walker just had a grit down with Alonzo Minifield. I would say the grit down, but it was very, very sloppy. Very, very sloppy, very, very ugly. But Julius Walker showed that he's tough, showed that he does want to impose his will, come forward and kind of slug it out. And Rafael, while he does have some power in his hands, he is a guy that you can slug it out with. He's a guy that you can absolutely slug it out with. I mean, this guy finished in back-to-back fights. We called both finishes. Julius Walker's very, very tough. Less experience on his side, but I can't even say he was fighting in a better promotion. I don't know neither of these promotions, I'm going to be honest. Julius Walker also good in the clinch. Tall, but his opponent's tall as well. Good in the clinch. Good at coming forward. I think he's going to put Rafael on the back foot. Rafael's going to be moving. I think Rafael's going to be a bit faster. But I think it's not going to take much for Rafael to get exposed defensively like he's already has been getting exposed defensively. And I think Julius can work in the clinch if it comes down to it. I think Julius Walker has more ways to win the fight. I think Julius Walker's more dangerous and more tough. So for that, I'm going to pick Julius Walker. And I do think we see another finish from Julius Walker. I think he starts fast, comes out fast against Rafael Caseta. We're going to go round one. I'm predicting a lot of finishes, and whenever I do that, it's a lot of decisions, so we'll see how that works. We got Eric Anders versus Christian Leroy Duncan, a closer fight than a lot of people want to give credit for. Much, much closer. Eric Anders, he's an athlete, well-rounded, wants to do a little bit of everything, not very fast, but he has some power. Not the toughest at this point in his career, gets clipped a lot, but he's an athlete. He grinds. He wants to use his cardio, weaponize his cardio, get hands on you, work all levels of MMA. Whichever is the path of least resistance is the path that he will try to take to defeat you. Christian Leroy Duncan, he has the savant style, the English style of striking, and he's been trying to implement more grappling into his game. Andre Pulayev, he just held him against the fence. I don't even know if he scored a takedown in that fight, and I don't really care to go back to see it. We know he can be grappled against. Gregory Rodriguez is a great grappler, though. Gregory Rodriguez is very dangerous, good jiu-jitsu, so I'm not going to say Eric Anders is the same as Gregory Rodriguez, but I will say Eric Anders has the same build. He has the same brute force in wanting to impose his will in a fight and get his hands on his opponent. And that's the path I would take for him, and I think it could do him some justice. CLD doesn't really have that killer instinct, if you ask me. Doesn't really have that killer instinct when he fights mid-level opponents. Now, you give him somebody trash like Dennis Talulin, he'll finish Dennis Talulin. I believe in Talulin. He'll finish Dennis Talulin, but when you give him these guys, the Andre Pulayev, he's just going to try to get to the decision and outpoint you. And Eric Anders isn't dangerous enough to make him pay for doing the outpointing style, so I'm going to pick Christian Leroy Duncan. Also, knowing we're in the Apex, knowing we're in Vegas is based off damage. If Eric Anders trying to work in the clinch, in on a single leg, in on a double leg, just holding against the fence, it's not going to get scored positively for him. But I don't think Eric Anders gets finished. Picking Christian Leroy Duncan by decision. I would go under 1.5 here if that's the line. If it's 2.5, smash the under. Eric Anders, Christian Leroy Duncan, I don't know what the line is. If it's a 1.5 line, smash the over. Christian Leroy Duncan minus 575. I don't know if you want to pay that price for him. A lot of people are all over him, hence the odds. But I don't know if you really want to throw that in your parlays, because that would hurt if he's the one that busts your parlays. Maybe an over round line here. Miles Johns versus Gene Matsumoto. Best bet here, Gene Matsumoto by points. I'm picking Gene Matsumoto by decision because Miles Johns is a guy who's been around a lot for a while, a veteran. Miles Johns is a guy who's decent everywhere, but not really good anywhere, if that makes sense. And that sounds disrespectful. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's just he doesn't really excel in one particular area besides his toughness and the fact that he'll throw big meaty hooks. Very, very telegraphed in his striking. Gene Matsumoto's going to be faster. He has the better striking, improving his striking over and over and over again. He has the grappling and jiu-jitsu background. He's tough. He just went to war with Rob Font, showed his toughness, showed his ability to bite down on the mouthpiece and really grind and go for it. That's what you love to see out of these young fighters. About to be 26 years old. Pick a Gene Matsumoto, but I don't think he finds a finish because of how tough Miles Johns is. Now, he could find his back, though, against the fit. I'm going to go points. Andre Fili versus Christian Rodriguez. I have to go C-Rod here. A huge falling for grace from Andre Fili. Huge fall from grace. Let's see. I want to say he hasn't really been that active. Oh, no, he's been active. He's been fighting. But he's a guy with a lot of talent. Really good wrestler. Good jiu-jitsu, even though he threw himself in a guillotine. But that gets to my point. His IQ isn't there. He makes dumb decisions. And Christian Rodriguez, they're both vets. C-Rod is a vet, even though he's 27 years old. I call him a vet because of the way he's treating these prospects. But I like his decision-making a lot in fights. He makes key decisions and takes advantage of key opportunities to win him moments and win him rounds. Whether it's on the feet or whether it's changing levels. If Andre Fili's in on the takedowns, Christian Rodriguez is an escape artist. You might take him down, but it's incredibly hard to keep him down. He does not settle for position. Escape artist, and he will reverse position. He will throw some hooks in. He will work, and when he's on top, he's hard to get off you, man. He's hard to get off you. Face a tough stylistical matchup in Melky. They're both coming off of a loss from Melky. Actually, now that I think about it, well, Christian Rodriguez, he lost to Melky because it's just a bad matchup. Melky was long, powerful, had more output, and is a good scrambler, shoot the box, good takedown defense, so Christian Rodriguez couldn't implement his wrestling. Andre Fili lost to Melky because he's a dumbass. He kind of gave his neck. It's levels to this shit. I'm going to go C-Rod, though, by decision. 30-27, though. I don't think it's going to be relatively competitive. Maybe competitive, but C-Rod's going to be clearly ahead. That's what I'm trying to get at. Now we got Osbourne Lucindo versus Angela Hill. This is a tough one. I flip-flop. Osbourne Lucindo, huge step up in competition against Amanda Lemos, where I picked Amanda Lemos. She made us some money as well against Angela Hill. 18-14, don't let it fool you. This girl's good everywhere. High volume, high volume. We'll throw 80 strikes around. High volume, not a lot of power, but high volume. A lot of movement, endless cardio, good takedown defense, strong, good wrestling offense, good everywhere. Really good everywhere. With Osbourne Lucindo, I'm not even going to say competent on the feet. She has a lot of work to do on the feet. But where she's really in on takedowns. Really trying to impose her will, really trying to grind out takedowns, and she just got beat at her own style. I mean, she was on her back for the entire fight against Amanda Lemos, and she couldn't get up. So I think Angela Hill's super hard to take down. I think she's super hard to just hold. I think she's Tabitha Ricci, where, yeah, she will let her hands go, but you're at range, shadowboxing at range, missing a lot. You're trying to, and then when you do go, you commit to some big power. You're just flailing everywhere. You're not really technical. You're not crisp. And I think Angela Hill's going to be able to move and dance around this girl all night, all fight. And we're in Vegas. I think Angela Hill's going to land a lot of strikes. Osbourne Lucindo's striking defense is good as well. I think she's going to land a lot of strikes. I think we can see a lot of clinch smudge festing from Osbourne Lucindo's side. But at the end of the day, that's not getting scored for her unless she's doing something with it, unless she's doing serious damage. So I got to pick Angela over Kill Hill by decision, obviously, because a lack of a finishing upside. But I think Angela Hill's going to beat this girl. Now we got Steve Erceg versus O'Day Osbourne. And Steve Erceg, huge falling from grace. Gets a title shot after knocking out Matt Schnell. And I said this years ago. Who doesn't? Who doesn't knock out Matt Schnell? And then he fell in love with his hands from there. Had a close fight with the champion. And then it's like, okay, let's give this guy some Kai Kara France. It's a bad matchup. Steve Erceg, while he does have good offensive boxing, he can be gun shy. He can be deterred with speed, and he doesn't move his head a lot. Kept his head on the line. Kai Kara France put him out. Brandon Moreno, gun shy. Wasn't letting his hands go. Wasn't really taking risks. Didn't use his wrestling at all. This guy's an Australian national champion. He's a champion in wrestling. Multiple jiu-jitsu competitions. He's a grappler. That's his base. And he's fallen in love with his hands. He's got O'Day Osbourne. There's one clear way to beat O'Day Osbourne, and that's the grapple. Hopefully he goes back to his roots and he mixes it up and shows that he's a complete mixed martial artist. And I'm saying that because he frustrates me a lot, because I can see him coming out here and trying to box with O'Day, and O'Day has the speed and yeah, O'Day's getting clipped, but O'Day's landing his own, and then the fight's kind of close. And that was a close round. I guess I give it to Erceg, but it could go either way, where it doesn't have to do that. He can make it, like, don't make your job harder than what it needs to be. He should be able to take O'Day Osbourne down and submit O'Day Osbourne. So I'm going to pick Steve Erceg by submission. He should be able to grind O'Day Osbourne out. This is a win. He really, really needs this win. If he loses this, it's looking tricky on your status in the UFC. I'll just say that. So you definitely need this win. I'm going submission because I need him to grapple. I need him to have a wake-up call. I didn't shoot a single takedown in a complete 25-minute fight against Brandon Moreno. Yeah, Brandon Moreno might have stuffed it, but you still need to mix it up. Brandon Moreno just outboxed you. It's ridiculous. This is a hard one. I flip back and forth. I think this fight goes to distance. And I think it's very, very close. I don't care who you are. Roman Dolidze, he's a wizard on the ground. Really, really good on the ground. Strong, big, dense, hard to take down. When you do take him down, he's reversing positions. He ended up on top. He's throwing up crazy submissions. I mean, a dog on the ground. On the feet, it's a lot of winging shots, very, very telegraphed shots, but everything is with power. Everything is intended to hurt you. I look at him, he's kind of a blend. He's not really, but I look at Anthony Hernandez, right? Fluffy was put in some bad positions by Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen rushed those positions. Fluffy was able to take advantage. Brendan Allen had Fluffy's back at times. Brendan Allen was on top at times, but Brendan Allen rushed. He lost key positions, lost key moments. I look at Fluffy versus Michelle Pieta, getting hurt bad, especially to the body. He's real soft in the body. Getting hurt bad. Getting dominated on the feet for however long that was, a minute, 2 minutes. Then Michelle gasses out, right? So I look at that, I'm like, Roman Dolidze has big power on the feet, big winging shots. Not really fast. He's telegraphed, but big shots on the feet. And on the ground, he's as crafty as it gets. He's as good as Brendan Allen or better. I mean, I look at him as world-class grappling. But a part of me just feels like it doesn't matter because Fluffy's going to keep going and keep going and keep going. A lot of people breaking this fight down is, if Fluffy can't get the takedown, Roman Dolidze, he's going to be in a world of trouble. But Fluffy doesn't really shoot to get the takedown, especially early. He doesn't really care if you defend the takedown. I'm on to the next. You defend that? Okay, I'm on to the next. You defend, I'm on to the next. It's the closest thing we have to Merab Dvalishvili. And he's going to keep going. And he's not going to slow down. He's not going to slow down. And the thing with Roman is, or anybody, it's like, you can be the better skilled fighter, more skills, better in more areas. But when a guy has the toughness and the determination with the cardio like that they can weaponize, I want to say the second best cardio in the promotion right now, you will wilt. You will slow down. You will slow down, especially when you're throwing big shots on the feet, big winging shots, big winging, everything's with power. And there's serious consequences if they land. Don't get me wrong. But when I look at Fluffy, I think he's going to lose this fight early. And then he's going to start to drown Roman Dolidze. Now, if Roman Dolidze doesn't slow down or he's able to keep working to his feet, I don't think it matters. This whole video I've been saying it's the apex. It's all about damage. It's not empty grappling. But Anthony is putting you in danger at all times, especially when he has to get you down. He's on top. He's taking your back. He's mounting you. He's transitioning with you. Position over submission until you break, until it's there. He's not going to force anything. But it's hard for me to just look at Roman and see him just getting wet blanketed and dominated and put through the ringer in a fight. I can't remember the last time that happened. I can't remember if it's ever happened with Roman Dolidze. I have to pick Fluffy, though. Because it gets to a point to where you can't just keep picking against a guy who showed no matter how good you are, I'm not going to slow down. And I'm going to put you through the ringer. He does have that dirty boxing style as well, where he will let his hands go. Not a lot of power, but good volume. He's not a sitting duck on the feet. He's just not that defensively sound, not really that great. But he's not a sitting duck. And Roman, I think his strikes are going to be so telegraphed. His big hooks, everything, his big movement is going to be so telegraphed. He's not that fast. It's going to be so telegraphed it's just going to make the level changes easier. And Roman's going to be shucking him off early. I truly believe that. Strong hips, strong base, stuff in the head, sprawling. But then the transition's happening. And then you're against the fence. And now I'm tripping you. And now I got a body lock, but I done went around to the back. And now I got Fluffy by decision. I think it goes to distance, regardless of who wins. I do. A lot of people saying either Roman wins early or Fluffy wins the decision. I think Roman can win the decision. I don't think Fluffy gets finished. I don't, because you got to go to the body to finish Fluffy. Fluffy can't be finished. You got to go to the body. Roman really head hunts, looks for the KO, big power. And the telegraph, like I said, he's not really setting up nice combinations. Brendan Allen, say what you want to say, his boxing's good, especially offensively. Michelle Pieta, say what you want to say, he's setting things up. Yeah, they're big and it's explosive, but it's fast. It's unorthodox. Roman Dolidze, you kind of know what you're going to get. He's big power, big hooks on the feet. He's going to try to back you up. He's going to try to land power until you break. And you can't break somebody who is the breaker. So, I got Anthony Fluffy Hernandez for the win. Like, comment, subscribe, share this to somebody I know they enjoy this like you did. You ain't got to go home. Let me know Let me know what you agree with. Not a lot of fights on this card. I want to say 11 picks are locked in. We're going to be live for the fights, of course. Come through, come hang with your boy. You ain't got to go home, so you got to get up out of here, man. Yeet.